And we are live, everybody, with Packers running back Dexter Williams. So, first of all, Bruce, you know how it goes. I got a little bit of promotion to do. So, Dexter, first of all, thank you very much for coming on the show. Bruce, I will give you the first question.
Oh man, that give me a lot of pressure now. So the Bears fan is asking the Packers player the first.
I'm trusting you a lot here, to be clear.
Yeah, right. So, well, first of all, Dex, like this is the second year you've been a part of the Chicago Bears Green Bay Packer rivalry.
Yeah.
How's it been going for you, man?
Oh, it's been very interesting, and I've been loving it so far. We're up 3, so hey, I'm happy with it.
Yeah. So curious to ask too, what's the locker room dynamic that the Green Bay Packers team has developed now with the culture of winning and having a leader with Aaron Rodgers and just that offense like purring like a kitten right now, man?
I would say it's just the wanting to be great, and our coaches they hold us to a high standard each and every day. When we walk into the building, you see the championship trophies. You already can see that that's the standard from as soon as you walk in the morning. That's the first thing you see. So it's just like just setting that standard from when you walk in the doors until you leave those doors, and even outside the building, just those like little relationships that we usually bond. But even though we have COVID this year, it's been kind of tough, like with those little bonds outside. But we still be able to like do our little bonding in the building and stuff. But everything has been rolling so far, and it's just I feel like every guy holds each guy to a standard. So I feel like that's why we are having so much success.
So, awesome. Tell me about. I've heard the stories. I've seen the interviews. Tell me about Za'Darius and Preston Smith in the locker room, because I know last year they would do all of their interviews together. They've only done one this year because of COVID, because they don't want to be too close together. But talk about those guys in the locker room, on the field. Obviously, you as a running back probably have some interesting interactions with them on the practice field. So tell me about that.
Yes. Those two are two interesting guys. They're just like brothers, and you can just see like just with those two their relationship is how a lot of guys' relationship are in the building. And those two, they're hilarious, great human beings, and great people just overall, and then just great athletes. So it's just the way they come to work and prepare and just handle their business, and then the swagger that they have is just so cool, and like how they're just laid back and like they get the job done and make plays and have fun playing this game. It's like it's pretty cool having those two in the locker room.
I love it. So Dexter, something that I was made aware of a couple days ago, and I want to let you talk about this, is I was told that you and your mom were part of a docu-series. And Bruce and I did a little digging into that beforehand. I want to give you the chance to explain it. So give us a little background there, because from what Bruce and I saw, it was very cool.
Yeah. So basically, it was a docu-series called Mystery to Me, and it was like taking you into the lives of myasthenia gravis patients, and basically, it's showing you like what a myasthenia gravis patient goes through, because not a lot of people know about myasthenia gravis. And just to shorten it up so I don't have to keep saying myasthenia, I'm gonna just say MG. Okay. But yeah, so MG is basically a rare disease, and there's not a lot of information out there, and it's nothing you can really pinpoint and say, okay, she has or he has MG. It's like it's a different cycle for each one. Everyone has like different symptoms, different outcomes, like different stages. Some can be worse than others, and some can be not as bad as others. So it's just different stages, and it really like gives you a glimpse of what these challenges and like the way that these the characters in the story life changes on a daily basis, and how the people around them lives change on a daily basis too. So I felt like it was something that me and my mother could connect with as well. So that was something that I was definitely pushing for because I know that a lot of people don't know about myasthenia gravis.
That's awesome. So it sounds like you have a very special relationship with your mom.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of curious. When I played sports, obviously I never got to the level that you have gotten to, but my mom was my biggest critic also. So I'm curious as to if when you had a bad game, even when you were a kid in high school or whatever, did she ever bring you over and say, "Come here, young man"?
When I would have a bad game or something in high school, my mom, she really wasn't the critic. She was actually the one that was kind of like trying to say it's only she was the one that was like really just trying to keep my head held high because I was like my biggest critic myself. So it would be times like she just always just try to give me like a little pep talk to just lift me up each and every day. Just like on those bad games, during those bad games or bad times. So I feel like she was like more of the helper. My dad was like more of the critic. So yeah, and that kind of explains that situation.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So Dexter, before we dive into more of like the current Green Bay Packers, this is a question I enjoy asking athletes. So whether it be, I mean, you can go as far back as you want, but let's cut off college and the pros. So high school and
Okay.
back. What is your favorite sports memory? Whether that be like one of the games where you realized, hey, I'm kind of better at this football thing than everyone, something along those lines. Give us a younger Dexter sports memory.
So a younger. So this when I first figured out, I was like, okay, I might be good at football. So this was my first time trying out for the team. We have a game in maybe 3 weeks. And I'm practicing. I'm thinking I was going to be playing like on the offensive side of the ball, like playing quarterback, running back, or just fullback or wide receiver, anything like that. And basically my coach put me on the defensive line. And I was so mad because all my friends, I played DN. I was the right DN. I would never forget. And we was playing this team called the Dolphins. And it was third down. I think it was like third and fourth down. Yeah, no, it was third down, third and fourth. And the quarterback hikes. I'm coming off the edge, and I'm so mad because I'm playing defensive end the whole game. And I hit him so hard, and the ball pops out, and then I take the ball, I scoop and score, and it was like for 50-some yards. And my coaches and everybody was going crazy. And ever since that day, I never played defensive end again.
They saw that breakaway speed right away.
Yeah.
You're like, wait, this guy can run.
That was like the highlight. That was the highlight of my. That's like when everything first kicked off.
That's awesome.
I love it.
So again, before we go back into the Green Bay days now, I kind of want to speak to a little bit of your career at Notre Dame. First of all, I'm not a huge Notre Dame fan. I'll be honest. I'll be upfront with you right now.
Bruce is just gonna hate on you for the next 20 minutes. Let's just be clear.
I don't hate Notre Dame. That's the thing. I don't have any favorite college football team. I watch Notre Dame. If I had to choose, I would say Northwestern, but they haven't done anything.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Northwestern.
Bruce. You had to
give
it to him.
I don't know. You know what it was? Okay, I'll give you the reason real quick. And we're not interviewing me here, but it's because back in like 95, 96, they were like really good. Dwayne Bates, Darnell Autry, like that whole team, for whatever reason, like when I was a kid, I loved it. I thought that was like just the thing to watch and see Pat Fitzgerald run around at linebacker with a huge neck roll and everything. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
So that's honestly, that's the only reason why. And back in the day when there was NCAA football, I loved it. But that's it. Anyway.
That's a good explanation. Okay.
But we'll give it to him.
But I do love I love the movie Rudy though. But no, so my question to you though is this. Obviously there's huge lore around Notre Dame. Speaking to memories, what was the main memory that you have from your Notre Dame, whether that be one play, whether that be a season, whether that be a game? What's the one thing that you could take away from Notre Dame that you're like, damn, that was an awesome time there?
I would say an awesome time in Notre Dame. Like one moment that was very special.
Your one shining moment, as they say.
I would say, my senior season. It's the first time I'm coming back for the 5th game against Stanford, and it's my first carry back, and I take it for 6. I believe it was like 45 yards. It was my first play back, and it was my first carry back. And I was just like, wow, like it was like so unbelievable, because I was telling people back in January, I was like, when I come back for the season, like my first carry is I'm taking it for 6.
Yeah.
And nobody would believe me. And I was just like, that was like my main goal that I was working for like since January when I come back. Mm-hmm. So I was like, once I got back on the field, I was like, the first play I ever get, I'm gonna go 110 miles per hour. And it worked.
That's awesome. That's pretty cool.
So
I'm surprised you didn't say that, like the 93-yard run or something like that you had.
Yeah, that one was exciting. It was exciting too, but I felt like the one that I had at Stanford, it was like more exciting because the guys on the side, on like my brothers on the field, like they knew like what I was going through. Yeah. They knew like what I was working for. So it was like we kind of shared that together.
That's fair.
So it was real nice.
That's awesome.
So Dexter, the last Notre Dame question I have for you is, who was your favorite teammate that you played with? And I'm gonna put you on the spot. I'm gonna make you name names. And you were there for 4 years. You saw plenty of guys go through a very good football program. So whether it be because of locker room antics, whether it be leadership on the field, give me a favorite guy that you went to battle with.
That I went to battle with, and they have to be on the same team.
Yes.
At Notre Dame or Green Bay?
Notre Dame.
Oh, at Notre Dame.
No, I'll start. Okay, I'll ask you questions about Green Bay later. Don't worry, I'll nail you on that too.
Okay.
But right now, just Notre Dame.
So just Notre Dame. My 4 years there at Notre Dame. I would say Tavon Coney.
Okay.
Me and him went at it each and every day because he was a linebacker and he was from Florida. So we was like so competitive, and it was just like each and every day, it was just like a battle of who can be the best. Like whether if it was like drills, work, who can get to the sideline the fastest. So it was just like little things like that we would always like keep each other going. So yeah, that was like my role buddy in college.
I like it. What do you say, Bruce?
No, that's pretty sweet. I love stuff like that. You're a challenger, man. You need someone.
Yeah, you definitely do.
So, Dexter, I think it's time for us to take our opportunity to make fun of Bruce. All right. Give me a little insight. Obviously, Packers-Bears rivalry in terms of fans is very tense. Let's say that. But from the aspect of the locker room, is it? And I'm going to ask you the stereotypical question, and I expect you to not give me a stereotypical answer here. Mm-hmm. So, is the Bears week a different type of week on the practice field, in the locker room? Does it feel different?
Yeah, I would definitely say it feels different because it's we're fighting for the North, and it's just like we always want to be the number one team in our conference. So not like the other 3 teams, I feel like it's a rivalry. With the other 2 teams, I feel like it's a rivalry, but it's not like Chicago. Like when we're facing the Bears, like everything, like everybody's like making sure like the whole work that week is crisp. It's like you really don't see guys making mistakes. Guys are like really in tune like with what's going on. I feel like it's just like it's more weight behind that game. It's just like our players at Green Bay just really want to continue like just that winning legacy. So I feel like that was like what makes that week so intense.
I like it. So then I don't know how much because of your injury. I don't know how much you're around. How much were you around the practice facility last week?
Oh, I was around the practice
Okay.
facility all the time. I'm a guy who's always around.
Okay.
That's a good.
Always.
That's a good thing.
So then let's say Monday. You guys,
Mhm.
whenever you came back this week after beating the Bears, how was that? Because that was a very good victory.
I wish I could tell you how it was when we came back, but because of COVID protocols,
Yeah.
we wasn't in the building.
Oh, I
But I
forgot you guys
know
don't.
if we were in the building, meetings and everything would have been lovely. Like our coaches and the team is just like we're just so energized like to watch that film because we know it was a lot of great things we put out there and also a lot of things that we can work on too.
Yeah.
But just seeing that those things that we did on the field and just watching it as a team, like that's a special moment that we share.
Yeah, I mean, the running backs, y'all put up 182 yards rushing.
Yeah.
That was a nice little yep. Y'all are lucky that Akeem Hicks wasn't in there. No.
Okay, Bruce.
Hey, I gotta give him his props. He's nice. He's nice. I gotta give him his props. Yeah, he's nice.
I was just about to say.
I mean, I will say, I noticed specifically, and I don't know if you guys talked about this in the running back room, Dexter, and I don't want to reveal your secrets, but it sure looked like on the first drive they were running it exactly where Hakeem Hicks usually would be.
Yes, we was definitely running that where he usually would be. Since he wasn't there no more, so we was like, hey, take advantage of it. It's a weakness in the defense. Why not?
100%.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll ask the next staggering question, I guess. Aaron Rodgers. Okay, so some of the things I've seen as a Bears fan looking at Aaron Rodgers. First of all, I'm jealous as all hell of Green Bay. Is his leadership ability does that trickle down significantly to other skill positions and offensive line?
Oh yes, I would say just like from when he walks in the building, the way he carries himself, the way he prepares, the way he works each and every day, even like when he doesn't do like things like Aaron Rodgers, like what he does out there, like the things that people see on TV, like when he does have his mess ups, like him being able to correct himself, even though like he's that caliber of a player, is like something that I see like that is like really like I feel like that's something that really catches a lot of people's attention and like draws you towards him. And it's like with him being that high caliber of a player, he wants like others like that to be around him because he knows what it takes to get there. So he try to like really bring a lot of guys together and just like really try to get guys to like get their full potential out of each and every day because he knows like he's been here for a while. So he can tell you the ins and outs.
I got you. So I had to ask a follow up to that too. So a lot of those guys that exhibit all that greatness, they're usually assholes. Is he an asshole?
To be honest, like when I first got to Green Bay, like hearing like all the talk about like Aaron Rodgers, like seeing like the tweets and stuff, you would think like, oh, he might be an asshole or something like that. But nah, he's actually a cool guy. Like me and him crack jokes in the locker room. Like he picks on me, I pick on him. So it's just like he's a real cool dude. Very smart, cool. Like, yeah. He's a real good person.
So I have a very specific question. Has Aaron Rodgers ever photobombed you?
Nah. But one thing he has done when I was a rookie, I was drinking water and he came by and just poured water on my head. So yeah, that was like one of my little experiences with him.
That's good. So I'm going to transition away from Aaron Rodgers right now because we're not talking to him. We're talking to you, Dexter. So how's your rehab going? I know you had a MCL sprain, was it? How's your rehab? How's everything going? Just give us some of the work that you've had to put in to get to a healthy state.
Yeah, it was a lot of work. Maybe this would be going on the 4th week, I believe. Yeah, so it took about a month. Rehab was intense because it's the knee. You want to make sure you rehab your knee the best way as possible because that's what you need to like run and like
Yeah.
keep that stability. So
Mhm.
and also, you know, the knee is a big issue like with injuries and stuff. So rehab was intense. It was Monday through Fridays, intense like rehab, intense training, up early mornings, doing extra work outside the building, doing extra work at home. So it was intense, but it was worth it because now I'm back up and running, cutting, doing all the things that I was doing before the injury. So I'm feeling well.
Great news.
That's good. We like to hear it. So, what I want to ask is that 49ers game where there were COVID issues with the Packers running backs. AJ Dillon
Mm-hmm.
tested positive, and then Jamal Williams was a close contact and unable to play. Going
Mm-hmm.
up to the game, nobody even thought Aaron Jones was going to play. So I mean, you had a big involvement in that game. If you can walk us through that week, it was a short week, which made it even more kind of dramatic. So walk us
Yeah.
through that week if you can. What was the feel in the locker room? And then the actual game, you guys blew out the 49ers, which had to have felt good.
Yeah, it was a great feeling that we won that game. And the week of that game, like starting up Monday, um, like with the COVID issues and stuff, our coach always teaches like we have to adapt to certain like situations. And this year is like just really everything is like nothing is written in stone this year. Everything is like
Yeah.
really been in sand. So it was just another issue that we had to adapt to. And it wasn't that hard to adjust because I prepare myself like I'm the starter. So whether like if I'm starting or not, I still want to be able to know the things that the starter knows, be able to do the things that the starter knows, and be able to handle my job just like I am the starter. And that's just all about being professional. So I feel like everything was it wasn't a hard adjustment. It was just the reps increased, everything increased. I was doing a lot more because I was asked to more. So it was a great week of preparation. It all showed out there on Sunday. Well, was it Thursday? It was Thursday, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah, it
think it
was
was
Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah, it was Thursday, and yeah, I wish I could have did more, but hey, it was just the way things played out.
So to jump off that, Dexter, I mean, we saw the impacts of COVID yesterday, a Wednesday football game with the Steelers
Yeah.
Ravens. I'm curious though, how has the organization prepared for the potential of something like that happening? What are the steps that they put in? And like you said, like things are written in sand, like Coach LaFleur
hmm
was saying. So, how do they prepare you for something like that? And just speak to us about some of the precautionary things that they do for COVID.
I would say it's really kind of like you really can't prepare, but it's just like you have to be ready. Like so, like just for like just like this game been played on Wednesday. Now like our coaches would mention that and like try to like prevent things like we'll have like team meetings and stuff and we'll mention like the whole situation so we'll try to find ways that to prevent that situation
Mhm.
from happening to us so we'll just like that make sure like the mask like the having your mask on is like being intensified around the building. A lot of guys hold each other accountable for that. Just like being in close contact with people because you never know like if somebody else just have it in the building and even though you might not get it, it's still like the chances of you sitting out and then somebody else coming up, they just have to be ready. So everyone has to be ready. Like I would say, like football is just like you just roll the deck of cards. Like any guy card can be pulled each and every day. So at any time. So you just have to be ready.
True. So, sorry, MJ.
No, go for it.
So, um, I'm curious, man. Like, because obviously an NFL football game it's I don't call it a contact sport. I call it a collision sport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So because of that, and correct me if I'm wrong, I haven't looked at their schedule. The Steelers are going to be and the Ravens have a game on Sunday, I believe. That's what, 5 days?
They play Monday.
They do. Okay, well,
Yeah.
regardless, that's a very short turnaround for an NFL football team.
Mhm.
What do you think is going to be done for them to prepare? Are they going to like take one off day out of the week? Are they so what are the steps that you think that will be put into action?
I would say like a lot of recovery days, not as an intense practice, more mental
Mhm.
than physical. You might have one work day, so guys won't get out of shape. Guys still keep their wind up and stuff, still being able to run. You might have a little bit of conditioning in there somewhere, but a lot of recovery because it's a collision sport, like you said, and like that short week notice of games and like
Crazy.
this football is just like this year has been a year like of the injuries in the league has just been crazy.
Yeah.
So
A lot of soft tissue injuries.
yeah, it's been a lot of injuries. So like I would say like just a lot of recovery, mental, and just being able to like still be able to get that work in, knowing that you're not out there physically doing everything full speed like you would be doing it in a regular week of practice.
Gotcha.
So, Dexter, the last question I want to ask about kind of the Packers locker room culture, some of the guys there, is the guys you're in the running back room with. Aaron Jones, Jamal Williams, they have amazing personalities. I mean, you see Jamal Williams dancing on the cameras all the time. Aaron Jones walks in with his freaking sombrero and
Mhm.
those huge glasses. Like, you've got some big personalities in there. So, I mean, how close are you with those guys, and how much fun is that? Just not even football aside, just how fun is that to be in a room with those guys all the time?
I mean, it's cool to be in a room with those guys because it just shows you like that like these are like these guys like outside of football and like they're just really just being themselves. So and they're not scared to show it. Just like Aaron Jones, like with the Sabero. I always get tongue twisted saying that,
No, you're
That's
good.
okay.
but yeah, but yeah. Then Jamal with his dancing and stuff, and like Jamal, he's just a character. He likes the anime, and he likes to like dance and do all like the goofy stuff. And it's just like you have so many different personalities in that room. It's like it's hard to not be what I'm not sure what the word. It's hard not to like be attracted like to somebody in that room, like they
Yeah.
really like catch their energy, I should say.
Yeah, it's good camaraderie.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you.
No, that's
Definitely.
awesome. So I'm gonna steer us in a different direction, and
All
MJ has
right.
no idea where the hell I'm going with it either. This is great. All right, so obviously you're from Orlando.
hmm
Uh, the spot that I mean, Orlando has the Orlando Magic, whatever. So who was the team? What was the team that you, Dexter, was was your favorite NFL, NBA, and baseball team? Just curiosity.
So my favorite NFL team was the Dolphins at the time.
Okay, who's the player?
Um,
Who was the go-to player?
the go-to player for the Dolphins.
There weren't many around that time, man.
No,
Yeah.
there aren't many now.
Now I'm thinking like it wasn't no go-to players. They've been losing a lot. So but I don't know. It was just like I love the Dolphins and like Miami and their colors. So it was just
Yeah.
like I was like, I don't know. It was just something about the Dolphins that just really caught my attention. But for basketball team, it was definitely not the Magics.
Wow.
It wasn't the Magics. Like I liked it. I liked the Magics when they had Steve Francis
Yep.
for a little while, but after that, it was like I really didn't like him. I was Golden State fan.
Oh, there it is.
Me
I
too.
like the war. I like the Warriors when they had Baron Davis
Yep.
and a lot of those guys
Yep.
and stuff too.
Yeah, dude.
But
Oh,
when I was like, I wasn't a real big basketball fan at first. But as the more I started watching it, I became like more of a player fan. Like I really didn't have a team,
right.
but my favorite players was like Steph Curry and Kevin Durant.
100%.
Let's go.
Yeah.
100%. I
You
don't
know,
blame
Bruce,
you.
I like this guy. I like him. Well, Dexter, from Bruce and I, we just want to thank you very much for taking 30 minutes out of your evening to do this.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
best of luck on your recovery. Best of luck in the rest of the season. Most importantly, week 17. Make sure you
Yes,
guys are
sir.
sharp for that one. I don't care if you have I don't even care if you have the number one seed secured. I need you to win that game. Okay?
Will do. Will do.
All I will say is I am not a Green Bay Packer fan. However, I am a Dexter Williams fan.
All right, thank you. I'll take that. I'll take that.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much again, Dexter. I hope you have a wonderful night.
Thank you. Y'all have a nice night too.
See ya.
See you.
Perfect. And Bruce, we are going to transition right into our next guest. This is like our Thanksgiving show all over again.
What was that? Did you say thanks?
I almost did. I had Thanksgiving show and chaos all in my head at the same time. So now that we have that, we're just gonna throw.
If we had the dump button on the radio, like that would have been like, oh, there it is.
Beep, beep. We're just gonna bring Rob right into the madness.
Oh, this poor gentleman.
Oh gosh.
I love it. That was great.
It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it, Bruce. Let's see.
Oh man.
But no, I love. I mean, Dexter has, in my opinion, very similar personality to the rest of that running back room.
And I love how outgoing he was with what he had to say. It was great, man.
He's not afraid to show that personality a little bit. I like it.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Rob connecting to audio.
Yeah, it looks like he's having a little bit of audio issues, huh?
Well, Dexter showed that for a long time too when he hopped on. I know it's not my fault. My internet speed in Texas is fantastic. I have like it's like 700 megabits for upload and download.
Everything is bigger in Texas, including
internet speed.
Internet speed and bandwidth.
Rob, let me know when you can hear us, if you can hear us. This is the benefit of doing a live show. But yeah, we have a lot of Oh, Rob is gone. That is okay. We'll go back to just us for the time being. We have a lot of Dexter fans in our chat. I'm a big fan of Dexter.
No, Dexter was great. Like I said, I would love to. If I was a Green Bay fan right now, I'd be fanboying it up, right, and like saying how happy I was to talk to Dexter.
Oh,
However, being a Bears fan, we've been seeing how poor they looked, and
okay, I'm getting attacked. Listen,
there you are.
It's 40 degrees here. I also have my window open. So here's the thing: my room is really hot, for whatever reason it may be. It's cold outside. I don't like being hot. I would rather it be cold in my room and have a sweatshirt on. So that's my preference if I had to pick.
The quick response to a person in the Twitch chat. I love it.
Yeah, it's okay. I know who it is. He actually. So this is a little bit of news, Bruce, that I haven't even told you yet.
Oh, look at that.
We have somebody who is one of my childhood friends who wants to do editing for videos. He wants to be in the producer and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so he is going to start editing some videos and some clips for us.
I love it. Please include whatever you can on MJ saying Thanksgiving shit.
I did not actually say it. It's
Please
okay.
Include that.
Oh, there's Rob.
Hey, there's Rob.
Let's get the logo out of his face.
How you doing, Rob?
Can you hear us?
I don't know if he can hear us. Can you hear us?
I can at least see Rob now.
We can see him. We're still having some. You gotta love the audio issues with live shows.
I mean, yeah, but luckily you and I know how to just BS off the top of our head.
Oh, it's called winging it, dude. That's what I do with life.
And also, somebody said I can't have my window open in Texas. I'll get eaten by mosquitoes. I haven't gotten a single mosquito bite yet.
Fair enough. All right.
Oh, Rob's still connecting to audio. It's okay.
Oh, there it is.
Okay, all right.
There we go, Rob.
There it is, Rob. We got you now.
Perfect. How are you doing,
I'm
Rob?
a absolute rookie to this. Sorry, guys.
That's okay.
I've been trying.
You know what? You might as well test it on our little mom and pop thing than do it on somewhere.
I mean, this is what we have to get used to, is the world of Zoom.
Exactly.
Apparently. But yeah, first
enough.
of all, Rob,
Got it.
thank you very much for coming on the show. I
My
appreciate
pleasure.
you being willing to do this. So, if you just want to introduce yourself, I know you have a very rich baseball background. So, give us a little timeline, give us a little walkthrough of who you are and your career in baseball.
Basically, my name is Rob Ducey. I'm a former major league player, uh, coach, scouted, done a lot of different things in the baseball world. Very fortunate that I had the opportunity to do some of the things that I've done. Uh, Played and coached in the Olympics for Canada, baseball in the Olympics. Um, I'm currently unemployed. I just returned from Taiwan. I spent 10 months over there, coaching with the team over there. Uh, and I'm at home now, and I'm enjoying my time at home with my family.
The time with the family is always a good thing, though, Rob.
It is.
No doubt. No doubt about it.
I know a certain team on the north side of Chicago that's had issues with hitting. So by all means, man.
Well, today was the first day. There's a fantasy camp going on down here in Florida right now, and it's older players, and there's guys that are with the White Sox. As far as old timers, they've gone to White Sox camps, Cubs camps, Dodger camps, and this was my first time today working with older guys. Guys that just want to play baseball, love the game, want to hear stories, want to get better. And I found myself, it's like, man, this is really hard because guys don't move the same way as what I expect. It's like, all right, just do this. Well, some of these guys are 75 years old, and it just doesn't work. So today we had a great day over in Bradenton at Pirate City, and I'm there for the next 3 days.
Awesome.
Nice. So, Rob, what were you doing in Taiwan specifically?
I was a hitting coach for the Fubon Guardians, and I got an opportunity. I was with the Philadelphia Phillies for 6 years, and my contract was not renewed. So I got an opportunity to go over and coach in Asia. I've always wanted to coach over there, and this was a great opportunity for me. So it was a good experience. I played in Japan. I've had an opportunity to coach and play in a lot of different countries, and we'll just add Taiwan to that list.
So my first question that I kind of want to ask you about with that relation is, what are the different, or I'm sorry, are there different fundamentals taught in Asia as opposed to the United States?
I don't think that there's different fundamentals. I think that the attention to smaller details for different countries applies. The bunting aspect, the small ball aspect in Japan, the fundamentals as far as ground balls and just the basic principle of playing the game, and they're they practice and practice and practice. So it's very much routine. Mm-hmm. I think that obviously the players here are bigger, stronger, faster. But fundamentally, I think Japan, Korea is the next level down, and then Taiwan is underneath those guys. The Taiwan player is basically the best player of what's left. So you have the best Taiwan players play in the U.S. Next tier play in Japan. Next tier play in Korea, and then they have what's left.
Right.
There are some good players though.
Right.
But overall, I think that the the fundamentals are better in some of those other countries.
So sorry, MJ.
No,
I'm gonna steer in a different direction here a little bit. So
Uh-oh.
I would not completely. So and I'm not trying to bring age up or anything, but one of the teams that you played for was actually one of my favorite teams growing up, and that was the Seattle Mariners.
Okay.
You had the opportunity to play with Alex Rodriguez. You got the opportunity to play with Randy Johnson. Just give me a little bit of the dynamics that were involved in that locker room, please.
That was a superstar locker room.
Yep.
You know, it really was. It was an all-star locker room from Dan Williams to Ken Griffey Jr. Or I'm sorry, Dan Wilson. Excuse me. Almost every player in the starting lineup at any given time played on an all-star team. And then you have, you know, the Griffeys and the A-Rods and Randy Johnson and Jeff Passero and, you know, Jamie Moyer and on down the line, right? Norm Charlton, Bobby Ayala, and, you know, just some of the names that were on those teams. It was almost check your ego at the door for those guys. They came in, they played. Edgar Martinez, they came in. Jay Buhner, they came in and they played. They were a very good team.
Mm-hmm.
They came in and played the game and wanted to win. I didn't feel like an outsider as far as when I first went to the team. I didn't feel like an outsider. I was very welcome there, and you know, from all the players, and they were all really, really good players. So they had the ability to, you know, put their individual achievements aside and play as a unit.
That's awesome. So
And it was tough playing for Lou, by the way.
I was going to ask that question too, actually.
I saw that. I saw that in your face.
So was he the type of guy that would just get on your ass about something, then go back into the back and have a beer?
No, he told me one day that I was wasting my time.
Oh, wow.
But that's
Oh my
okay.
God.
That's okay. In all reality, he was correct. But you know, it upset me at the time. I'll give you the background to it. So during batting practice, I was in the middle of the field, opposite field, middle of the field, the whole BP. And then during the game, I would pull balls.
Mm-hmm.
And he just, you know, one day Ken Hill pitched really good against us, and we were standing in line to eat after the game, and he called me Robbie. He said, "Robbie." I said, "Yeah, Lou." He said, "You're wasting your time." And I was like, man, we lost today, so he can't yell at Griffey or A-Rod, or he's going to yell at me. He's going to pick out me. So he said, "You're wasting your time." And I said, "What do you mean by that?" And then he went on, you know, in BP, you do this, and during the game, you do that. And at least he recognized that I was working on, you know, fixing my issues. But it wasn't transferring over to the game. And it wasn't years later that I realized that I had two different thought processes. So that's what caused me to pull during the game. And I had a different thought process during the game than I did during batting practice.
Mm-hmm.
So when I talk to hitters, you know, today, some of the things that, some of the issues that we have is why all this cage work that we do and all the drills that we do, why don't they transfer over to the game? Because they think differently.
Yep.
So your body does what, you know, your mind thinks.
Right.
So if you have a different thought process during the game, then you'll have, than you do in the cage, then your movements are going to be different.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of the Lou stories. So I ended up telling him that.
How was his reaction to that?
5 years ago, I saw him at one of the trade shows during the wintertime. And I ended up telling him, I said, "Lou, do you remember when you told me that I was wasting my time?"
Did he even remember? That's the thing. I'm sure he was like,
no. No, it was just another one of those days.
It's one of those old coaching cliche or proverbs that I like to go by, and that's if the coach is still noticing you and talking to you, that's a good thing, though.
Yes.
Well, I'll add to that. So I'm in Philadelphia, my maybe 99 or 2000, maybe, yeah. Terry Francona was the manager. And Terry, I sat as far away from the manager as I possibly could. So I'm sitting down at the end of the bench, and he comes down to get a glass of water. So he's at the water jug, and he looks at me, and then he double looks at me. He said, "Hey, are you still here?" And so he started laughing. Yeah.
Oh my
man.
God.
So have you seen him 5 years ago or 4 years ago to ask him about that?
Now he would probably remember.
That's fair.
So, Rob, we had a question in our chat, kind of, I mean, with the amazing managers you've worked with, the amazing players you have played with. One of the things I love to do when I'm interviewing people is I love putting them on the spot. And I think people know that. So I'm going to put you on the spot with this question from the chat. Somebody wants to know, who is the best athlete that you have played with? So I think what they're going for is maybe not the best statistical player, but just who is the best athlete that you have played with, coached, something like that.
I play, obviously, the pool is wide.
Yeah.
But probably the best athlete, Glenn Allen Hill.
Glenn Allen Hill, former Cub.
Yeah. He was 6'3", 230 pounds, built like a brick house. Could run, strong man. Athletically, he played football in high school, and I think he was a running back, all-American running back, and he was just a very, very good athlete. There were some guys that were equally as good that never, had the accomplishments in the big leagues. But as far as a major league player, Glenn Allen Hill was a tremendous athlete. David Wells was a tremendous athlete.
David Wells. Oh.
Yes, Boomer. Good basketball player. They
Really?
just, really, really good athlete. Let's see, who else? Man, it's a good question, as far as just because it's not, okay, who's the best player that you ever played with? That's kind of up for grabs as well. Robbie Alomar, tremendous athlete. Obviously, tremendous player, but a very, very good athlete. Nope, sorry.
It's okay.
Kelly Gruber, really good athlete.
Okay.
Let's see. Devon White. I mean, there's so many guys at that level. Many guys.
I can imagine. So I'll ask you one more thing with this walk down memory lane for you. What was it? Did you have an opportunity during maybe an inter squad scrimmage or anything like that to hit against Randy Johnson? And if so, how did that go?
Well, before Randy was with the Mariners, he was in Montreal.
Yep.
And I faced him in AAA. He was pitching in AAA with the Indianapolis Indians. I believe they were the Indians.
Yeah.
Before he had command. So he threw a zillion. Yeah, I'm left-handed. I know what John Kruk went through in that at-bat. All right, so I can relate. I knew that he threw hard, and extremely hard when 100 was 100.
Yes.
And I knew he didn't know where it was going, so I wasn't going to swing. And he ended up walking me twice because he had no command. So it was like, you know what? This is like a self-defense at bat. So I'm going to get as small as I can in the batter's box, and I hope he doesn't hit me. and I'm not swinging because he can't throw strikes.
Right. And this is before they even had elbow protectors.
I was gonna say that, yeah.
Oh yeah, yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
I love it.
Oof.
That's good stuff.
Oh,
But
my
all right, so let's fast forward now. I'm curious to know what are your thoughts as a hitting coach? What's your thoughts on launch angle and now the lack of, I want to say, contact hitting that you see in baseball now? Do you think that that's something that's going to change? Because I mean, you have DJ LeMahieu, who's a big contact guy, who's up for free agency now, and
Bruce really wants him on the Cubs.
I do, but I want him back. But no, I just want to hear your thoughts and opinion on launch angle and the thought of striking out as being okay now.
I'll never agree that striking out is okay, because you have zero chance unless the catcher misses it, and
Right.
so you have zero chance when you're walking back to the dugout. You have zero chance to get on base. But I honestly believe that the industry, and people can correct me if I'm wrong, but the industry has worded it such that I think it's confusing, because launch angle is the result of after contact, right?
Yeah.
So you could have a perfectly flat bat and have a negative launch angle or a positive launch angle, depending on where you make contact with the ball.
Right.
So if you're trying to match launch angle, it's virtually impossible to do that. Now, for me, as a hitting coach, I use attack angle. How is my bat coming through the zone? Is it coming through down, up, or flat? And I think that we can control that. I don't think we can. I know that we can't control launch angle. I think we can control our attack angle much easier than trying to control. Okay, I want a 15-degree launch angle with these balls. No, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
But we need to use it as an industry. We need to use the technology that we have, the information that we have. We need to use it so the player understands it better. Sometimes, and it's a wide range of players. It's the 16-year-old Dominican kid and the 32-year-old major league veteran. So, as an industry, I think that we have made it very, very difficult for some of our players to understand it. And then once players don't understand something, they kind of shut it down. They don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
So we need to make sure that the players understand exactly what we're trying to get them to do, and using the technology that we have, like blast motion. I'll give you that example. I don't know if you guys know much about blast motion.
I've heard of it. I don't know much about it though.
Okay, well, it kind of measures, that the angle of the bat coming through the zone. It measures like the swing path of the bat.
Okay. The duration. Okay.
Okay.
Duration of
So
the bat.
if a player has an uppercut, I'm going to use some old school terminology. He swings up.
Yeah.
All right. Or he swings down. He's too steep going to the ball. We can use that the blast motion. Say, okay, right now it's on the iPad. Every swing you take is negative 28 degrees. I want you to be at 15 degrees, negative 15 degrees. So after every swing, okay, that was 26, 22. Okay, then they're going to start to, using the technology that we have, they're going to start to say, okay, that right there, that feel right there, that's 15 degrees.
Yeah.
Okay. They can do that through feel because they're professional athletes.
Right.
But if you just tell them, hey, I want you to have a 15-degree launch angle, or 15-degree attack angle. Well, what is that? I have no idea what that is.
Right.
I wouldn't know. So we have to get these players to understand the numbers, the analytic world. We have to get them to understand, their cold zones and their hot zones, and it's not just drill work. If they understand it mentally, if they get it, it's much easier for them to put things into play physically if they understand it mentally. But if they're confused, they have zero chance.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the same in almost anything.
Right.
Yeah. Bruce, why didn't you teach me any of this when you were my coach? What was that about?
Hey, we did have the iPad and we did use an app on that.
Okay, Bruce, we used the iPad to track. That was our scorebook.
Oh, right, yeah, but we also, Coach and I also did other stuff with it too. Okay, we won't get into this with Rob.
No, but Rob, to give you context, Bruce was my one of my baseball coaches my freshman year of high school.
Yeah,
that's
very
how
nice.
I know him.
Yeah,
how did you hit?
It's actually a team right here.
Yeah, the team Bruce has a picture. I mean, I think I hit pretty well. I was the cleanup hitter on a team that set a school record for the amount of wins in a year. So.
Oh, excellent. How many homers do you hit? Because everyone cares about homers, don't they?
One?
Actually, no, I think you hit one or two because it was a short fence, Rob.
Yeah, it was really short. But no, I was always more of a line drive guy.
Okay, I like line drives.
I do too.
I really talk more about being a good hitter. If you have power, you have power.
Yeah.
And I think we are overboard with home runs these days.
Yeah.
Overboard. So if you're a good hitter and you have power, I want 9 of those guys in my lineup. Yes. I want 9 good hitters because they're going to take their walks. They're going to, move runners. They're going to situational hit. Yes. They're going to drive in runs. They're going to hit homers because they're good hitters, and with power. Mm-hmm. Just power hitters, they're susceptible, especially once the playoffs start. When you're facing the aces of each team, and the top 2 or 3 starters on each team, now all of a sudden things get exposed really, really quickly.
Saw that here again this year.
Yeah. So there's nothing wrong with the and I use the Cardinals of old as a great example.
Yeah.
Really good hitters. Tommy Herr drove in 104 runs, I think, one year and hit 6 home runs.
Yeah.
So, and I know he had Jack Rabbits on in front of him. I get that. But he had good hitters, Willie McGee, Coleman, and Ozzie. Good hitters in front of him.
Great hitters, yeah.
But I think Jack Clark was one of the only guys that was the power guy on that team. Pedro Guerrero, I think, was there as well.
Mm-hmm.
So there weren't a whole lot of boppers, but they had really good hitters with speed. So I often wonder how that team would do in today's game.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I actually, the first thought that came to my mind that you were just talking about was the 2003 Marlins. That team was, they had quick guys in front with Juan Pierre and Luis Castillo. And at the time, Cabrera, he was kind of smaller. But then Derek Lee, from what I remember. So, that was another team. They weren't. I don't recall them being big-time home run hitters, but they were just solid hitters.
Yeah, good hitters. Good hitters. Well, they'll take their walk, and away you go.
Yep.
You guys had some good hitters in Chicago, too, with Thomas and Ventura. And,
I love that team. Like, Ozzie Guillen was I thought Ozzie was a good hitter, too. I loved Ozzie.
Well, now I have to hang up.
That guy's
Ozzy's a great dude. I love Ozzie.
Dude, I love Ozzie. Honestly, I would love to just sit. He's the guy, honestly, that I would like to sit down and just be like, "So, Ozzie." I love it.
So, Rob, the last question I have for you is: you've done some work with you've played in the Olympics, correct? and
Correct.
you've done some work with the Canadian Olympic team. So I love asking people when they get a chance to represent their country. You also played for Montreal. So I mean,
That's right.
with your history in Canadian baseball, how cool was that?
Oh, extremely, extremely. I was very, very fortunate to, after I was done playing 2002 spring training, I got released by the Cardinals. I came home and I spent a couple of years at home, and I got an opportunity at almost the age of 40 to play for Team Canada. And I'd always wanted, obviously, to represent my country. And so I got both my knees done at the same time. I got two operations done, and went through the rehab and went through the whole deal to get ready for the Olympic trials. And it was, I am so happy that I got an opportunity to do it, because it was totally different than any experience that I ever had in professional baseball. There was one common goal, was to at that time to qualify for the Olympics.
Yeah.
Now going to the Olympics was, that was another ball of wax. That was awesome. But to actually qualify, we were in Panama, and we qualified to go. And one of my fondest baseball memories was on a bus coming from the that game that we qualified, and going back to the hotel, and the whole bus is singing the national anthem.
That's amazing.
It was like chilling. It was probably the highlight of my career. Wow. And I'm very, very fortunate to have had that opportunity.
That's awesome. Thank you.
That's it in a nutshell before I start crying.
I love it, dude.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, I believe that's all we got for you tonight, Rob. I mean, thank you very much for being willing to do this, coming on our show.
Oh, my pleasure. Anytime.
Your stories are amazing, so we're definitely gonna have to have you back sometime, because I think I can speak for me and Bruce. We have so many questions and stories that we want to pull out of you, so we'll definitely have to have you back.
Yeah. No problem. Anytime. Thank you, MJ. Thank you, Bruce.
No problem. Thank you, Rob.
Thanks, guys. Good luck.
Thank you, Rob. We'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye-bye.
There we go.
So I did say I was gonna crack a beer for him, but for Ozzy, but I'm cracking the beer for him, because like I could sit and listen to that gentleman's stories and experiences. And by the way, take a look at this pour. That's a pretty phenomenal looking pour. That's like anyway. So
no, claps to you. That's well done.
Right. Anyway, no, I absolutely loved his. I loved the explanation. We'll go for the analytic part. First, and I love his explanation and how he put it, and how the naming convention that they use currently, it might be a little, and the way it's described is a little askew. So, and frankly, I never thought of it like that. So that's pretty cool for him to kind of clarify it in a different way for us. But to hear the stories that he has, I'm sure were phenomenal. And the anthem talk about on the bus with the guys. And one of the things actually that came to my mind while he was talking about it is the commonality that I've seen in all the interviews in our short time of doing this with former athletes, and is that the camaraderie is the thing, like the brotherhood and hanging out with the guys. But I love that dynamic, because the extent that I got it was through high school, a little bit of college stuff.
Yeah.
And it's still there. I still talk to the same guys that I played basketball with, I played football with, the same group of people. So it's pretty cool. And I love that. And we could just sit and talk about that and sip on apple juice for the whole time. I'm cool with
energy drink. Yeah.
An energy drink. I had my coffee before this, so
perfect. But no, I mean, the guy played 14, 15 years in the major leagues, and the teams that he played with.
Right.
He played with
Right.
some very successful teams. Obviously, that Mariners team that we talked about.
Toronto, the California Angels for a year, the Rangers,
Yeah. Oh,
the Mariners.
I forgot. I wanted to ask him, what does he have against the A's? Because that's the one team in the West he didn't play with because the Astros weren't there yet. That was the one team in the West that he didn't play for.
It's because it's the Athletics.
Okay, Bruce, your team didn't win a championship for 108 years? No, that was the Red Sox. How long was it?
Oh, you're right.
No, it was 108? Yeah, it was. What was the Red Sox?
90, 96, 94,
Okay.
96, something like that. I don't know. I don't care. It's the Red Sox. Everyone loves Boston.
Ooh, whatever. But yeah, so
Just in case we didn't get any Boston people on our show, I love Boston.
no, I don't really want any Boston people on my show. I don't know.
We're not ESPN. Oh,
What'd you say?
I said we're not ESPN.
Yeah, you right. You're not wrong. But no, I think it's time to give Bruce a little path down memory lane in the last week.
Nice transition.
Bruce, why don't you give us?
What
No,
do you
'cause
got?
I-
What do you
so-
what do you
so
got in that
I'm
energy
having-
drink? We gotta shine the light on you. What do you got in that energy drink, sir?
Not sponsored, but we got Rockstar. We should get Rockstar to sponsor us. Anyway, no, I mean we talked about it earlier with Dexter, the amazing, commanding, convincing blowout win by the Green Bay Packers. Coach Bruce, your thoughts?
Well, before we get to that, MJ, the weekend is right around the corner, and there are plenty of things going on in Central Illinois to keep you and the family busy, or even MJ. Whether you're just visiting or you call the heart of Illinois home, Discover Peoria, the Peoria Area Convention and Visitors Bureau, has dropped us information about a few weekly discoveries you don't want to miss. So there's one that I actually really like. It's the 12 days of carryout starting tomorrow. To help support our local restaurants and nonprofit organizations, Discover Peoria is launching the 12 days of carryout. And I'm sorry, it's not tomorrow. It's actually starting December 12th through December 21st. Again,
Correct.
it's December 10th to December 21st, where you can keep calm and carry out from a local restaurant, and then 20% of the proceeds from that day go towards a designated local nonprofit. They're highlighting Cayenne in Peoria Heights. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, but
You're right.
it's very difficult for me to read this, apparently. You can take home some yummy tacos, who doesn't like tacos, and benefit Big Picture Peoria. Keep an eye out on our Discover Peoria Facebook page for other days we are highlighting and restaurants you can carry out from, or check out our blog post on discoverpeoria.com to learn more about the 12 days of carryout. And who does not want to carry out some tasty food?
Well, especially since you're not allowed to actually eat in restaurants in Illinois. I had to go there. Anyway, what I want to talk about.
Read this stuff. Come on.
What I want to talk about is the 2020 Santa Claus run. Bruce, there is still time to get in on this holiday fun run, which is taking place over a 9-day period. So for those of you like Bruce who are a little slow, December 12th to December 20th, you can take place. This year's race will benefit Arts Partners of Central Illinois and help fund sculpture walks by Arts Partners. The Run When You Want race gives participants 9 days to get out and run or walk the route on the day and time of their choosing, with this year's route highlighting public art, including the 9 large-scale sculptures featured on the sculpture walk. Participants can take photos with their favorite artwork and then use the hashtag Discover Peoria and hashtag Santa Claus Run on social media to be entered into a contest for additional prizes, because who doesn't like prizes? Registration is $30 for adults and $15 for kids, and you can sign up today over at discoverpeoria.com/Santa Run.
You did a phenomenal job there.
Thank you very much, Bruce. It's almost like that's my job.
Oh, man. It's not at all mine. We can
No,
all
it's
tell.
not.
Oh,
Well, that's okay.
Anyways, so I think the route and or road that you were heading down was to talk about the we already know I swear, but I don't want to drop this word. the absolute effing train wreck that we call the Chicago Bears. And frankly, I'll be honest with you, I'm not blaming it on the players. No,
Oh, we're gonna
excuse
go
me.
here already.
I'm
Okay.
not blaming it on the players. I am not blaming it on, not even blaming it on the coaching staff. I'm going directly to the top. Ted Phillips.
Whoa.
Ted
You're not
Phillips.
even going to
Why?
Ryan Pace.
No. Ted Phillips. Ted Phillips. Like, he thought hiring Ryan Pace was a good idea. He thought that hiring okay, so this is a guy that ended up hiring a consultant, and this was talked about all over sports talk radio in Chicago lately.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was agreeing with it, and I've had my conversations with friends about this, and I'm tired of the fact that I think at that building at Hallis Hall Drive, I don't know what the exact address is.
Yeah.
The players bust their asses. I think that the coaches bust their asses. I have no issues, no problems with any of those guys, because keep doing what you're doing. However, when you have somebody that's evaluating that talent, that you think is going to put you in a position to end the longest drought in Chicago professional sports championships currently is the Chicago Bears. To get rid of that, you hire a consultant because you're not able to find a suitable replacement for your coach. And I'm talking about Mark Trestman. I'm talking about all these guys. You hire Mark Trestman. And obviously I'm going back right now, and we're going to lead into Matt Nagy, but you hire Mark Trestman because Bruce Arians was in your building. You decide not to hire that man because you asked Bruce Arians to do a mock interview. What the hell is a mock interview? Why would you even have that? How asinine does that sound?
What is a mock interview in the NFL?
It's dumb. If you don't think he's professionally qualified to be at or have the position, then why the hell bring him in your building and talk to him?
Yeah.
That said, you bring in the freaking jackass from Canada who was an absolute freaking train wreck, lost the locker room, looked confused all the time. During his first press conference, I don't even know, MJ, if you know this, but during his Trestman's first press conference with the Bears, he said, "We're going to have a team that's selfish and undisciplined." That was his exact quote. No joke. Look it up. It's hilarious. He's like, "We are going to have a team that is selfish and undisciplined."
So he kind of flipped, yeah.
Yes, he did. He flipped.
Interesting.
So that is a precursor to what you have currently going on for the Chicago Bears. Now let's fast forward to 2018. Yeah, 2018. You decide you have Ryan Pace and you have him making moves for a draft. And you don't even bring in, you have the top. Okay, so you're making a move that's going to have your franchise decide how well your franchise does for the next 10 to 15 years in getting a quarterback. Your decision, so that being said, you should bring in the best candidates for that position. At that time, it was Mitchell Trubisky, Patrick Mahomes, and Deshaun Watson.
Yep.
You need to bring in all your coaching staff, anybody you possibly can, to make this decision, to evaluate more, things. Bring all the opinions and all the thoughts in that you possibly can, because again, this is a career-defining move. This is a franchise-defining move.
Yep.
And the fact that your dumb ass decides to not bring in Deshaun Watson for even a talk, not even to say, "Hey, man." You don't even do that. You don't even do that. And I'm so frustrated, and I thought I was past this thought process of drafting Mitchell. And it's not his fault. And that's another thing. Yeah. Whoever is pissed off at Mitchell Trubisky, don't be mad at him.
No, not at all.
He didn't he wasn't like, "I'm just going to go to Chicago."
Right.
No. So let's not be mad at Mitchell Trubisky. Be mad at the fact that the Chicago Bears franchise is okay with mediocrity. Be mad at the fact that you have leadership, top leadership, that's consistently bringing in money from Chicago Bear fans that keep buying shit like this and take full advantage of it. Be mad at that. Stop going to games. Obviously, no one's going to games right now, but don't go to games. Don't renew your freaking your season freaking tickets. Don't be doing any crap. All right. Whew. Anyways.
So before you continue,
the veins are all popping. Sorry.
Before you continue, our editor just commented, "This is going to be a fantastic edit." And I thought the same thing. I'm like, this is going to make a great TikTok.
Fair. Anyway, so, and I'm not mad. Okay, and like I'm not gonna say that I'm pissed off completely at what Matt Nagy had, or I'm sorry, I won't say that I'm not mad at Matt Nagy either, because he was supposed to fix Trubisky, and obviously it hasn't come to fruition.
Yeah.
But man, dude, it's frustrating as a Chicago Bears fan, consistently watching defenses be wasted over and over and over again. The Chicago Bears, so let me put this in perspective for those that are going to watch this. The Chicago Bears are 3-18. What was it? Did I say, I think 3-18 now because they lost? Yeah, 3-18, including the playoff game in 2010, this past decade against the Packers. Or this decade. So from 2010 to 2020, the Bears are 3-18 against the Packers.
Yeah.
That's your rival? Bullshit, that's your rival. That sounds like a floor mat to me. So from now on, when the Bears play the Green Bay Packers, it's not a rivalry game, it's the floor mat game. That was pretty good.
That's gonna make a good TikTok. I like that. Richie, make sure you get that one. But no, I mean, I will say
hold on, one more thing, please.
Okay, go for it.
And mind you, you have a Ted Phillips who and this was talked about today on Waddle and Sylvie. So when I heard them talk about this, I know for a fact that like Sylvie wants to kind of pop off a little bit more than he can, because obviously it's a different setup, but I can. So the fact that you have Ted Phillips running a ship or taking a ship, right, which right now is the damn Titanic, and crushing it against an iceberg, and that iceberg being Soldier Field. So let's talk about Soldier Field now. I love Soldier Field. I think Soldier Field is amazing. I think the concept behind it is phenomenal. God bless our soldiers. Thank you so much for what you've done for our amazing country. Amen. And it's an honor for the Chicago Bears to play in that stadium. But the fact that the Chicago Bears can't do anything with that stadium because it's owned by the Chicago Park District is absolutely absurd. It's 2020. You are a charter franchise of the NFL, and you do not own your own freaking stadium. You and I have had this conversation before. The Arlington Heights, Arlington Park, where the racetrack is, that will be the site of the Chicago Bears' new stadium at some point.
Yes. Absolutely.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
And I said, I think I made a Facebook post about this too. God, I don't even know. I'm going off on all sorts of tangents that I'm not even finishing. Like I didn't think I was going to get this heated talking about it.
The stream is loving it, so keep going.
But my bad. Sorry. I didn't know I was going to get this heated.
But you have the right to.
Let me tell you, when we watch games, and when my buddy and I watch games, we enjoy way too much juice, and I understand that. And thank you for my amazing fiance for putting up with me, and thank you to my buddy's wife for putting up with us as well.
Yes.
But watching the Chicago Bears play for the past 30, how old am I? 36. For the past 30, we'll say 35 or 35 years. 36. I've been a Bears fan since the Super Bowl. I didn't see it or whatever. It's just constant frustration. The 90s, they were crap. Tom Waddle, love you, buddy. But in the 90s, they were crap. In the freaking 2000s, they had a Super Bowl run, which was amazing. But it wasn't predicated on their offense. It wasn't. And I'll be honest with you, that offense was a whole hell of a lot better than the offense that they currently have right now.
Yeah.
You know why? Because they actually ran the damn ball. And they had an offensive line that and by the way, Jerry Angelo, who was the old manager for that team, actually drafted offensive linemen.
It's a weird concept, right?
No shit. And he also drafted he drafted Rex Grossman, I believe. I could be wrong on that one. However, he did draft Mark Colombo, who was recently fired by the Washington football team. And who else? But they actually got offensive linemen with Jerry Angelo. So that being said, stop wasting defenses. Actually develop a quarterback, draft a quarterback, draft offensive limemen. Just shit. Let me run the team. I don't understand jack shit about it. But I'm gonna tell you right now, man. Give somebody else an opportunity is what I'm saying. I'm done with this. Bears are going to win this week. Everyone's going to be rah rah, hey, happy, happy, joy, joy. They're going to see the shit that the graphic that's going to say in the hunt, and you're still going to get those meathead ass fans that are going to be like, we still make the playoffs, and I'll be one of them. You know why? Because I'll probably end up being drunk.
So Bruce, I've known you for.
I'm Bears Kool-Aid.
I've known you for 6 years now. We've been doing this since May. That is the most prime rants that I've ever seen out of you, and I love it. And I will admit wholeheartedly that I do not understand what you are going through on any level.
No.
Specifically with football. I think the A's would be my comparison. They are an equally frustrating franchise. I don't think they're. I wouldn't say that they're okay with mediocrity. That they're not okay with mediocrity. Billy Beane is not okay with mediocrity. However, it's been extremely frustrating to watch that team get so close to success and just not be able to pull it off. So that's the only place that I can pull from. I mean, the last 30 years of Green Bay Packers football have been occupied, 28 technically, have been occupied by Hall of Fame quarterbacks. So my only comparison would be you guys have wasted defenses, we have wasted incredible offenses, but I've still won a Super Bowl in the last 10 years, so I am not complaining whatsoever. But even just obviously I don't want the Bears to do well, right? I mean, living in Chicago for a very long time, I'm not the Bears hater that I think I would be if I was from Wisconsin specifically, because obviously everybody I knew in Chicago was a Bears fan for the most part. So I got very well acquainted with the team. I really only specifically root against them if they're playing the Packers. Other than that, especially now that we do this show, we've interviewed so many Chicago people. I'm like, yeah, go for it, Chicago. If you can do well, please. Granted, the losses, get some good rants out of Bruce.
Gosh darn it, let's go.
Exactly. But just from a football purist perspective, to see someone like Khalil Mack, I mean, the defense that the Bears have, Khalil Mack should be the Dwight Freeney leading a Super Bowl run. I mean, that is the level of talent he has, and it's just unfortunate to see that wasted. And again, specifically from someone who loves the game of football, enjoys watching good football, it's disappointing to see the defense perform at such a high level. I mean, that's the reason the Bears didn't do well. I mean, the defense just never had a chance to catch up. They're playing a different kind of football against the Packers because, like you said, the Packers are ahead from the first drive.
And that brings me to my other point of the fact that we talked about this in the pre-show.
Yes.
About the reliance on analytics.
Yes.
You know damn well Aaron Rodgers is a stud quarterback. Keep the damn ball out of his hands. Why defer to the second half when you know damn well that he's going to get the ball back, or get the ball right away?
Yeah.
It's going to be down right away. There's a stat, and correct me if I'm wrong because you're a Packer fan.
Yeah.
But the Green Bay Packers have every time their opening drive they've scored every time this year.
Yes.
It doesn't take a rocket scientist or an NFL football coach to be like, shit, you know what?
Maybe don't give him the ball first.
Whatever.
And I think they've scored a touchdown.
I don't even know.
They've played 11 games. I want to say they've scored a touchdown on 9 of their first 11 drives. Like, I mean, so this is the thing last year that drove me crazy about the Packers. They were really good at scoring on the first drive last year, but they sucked into the rest of the first half because they're the scripted 15 or 20 plays. They were really good at those. And once they got off script, Aaron Rodgers was not familiar enough with the offense. The issue for the entire NFL now is he's actually familiar with the offense now. So after those scripted plays, he's still good. And that's scary.
Dude, honestly, God, all I heard the whole time was I still have a Hall of Fame quarterback, blah, blah, blah. That's what I heard. I have no sympathy for, after the first 20, I don't give a shit. You have Aaron Rodgers, dude. Stop.
Aaron Rodgers, and I was talking with my dad about this, and I know he's watching, so I'm sure he'll throw some feedback in there. We were talking about he asked me, is Patrick
Bruce
Mahomes...
Needs to calm down.
What?
He's going to be like, Bruce needs to calm down.
Bruce needs to calm... No, he's been in here making fun of you. But no.
Oh, has he?
Yeah. He's Gavel Man. Yeah,
Oh,
Bruce, you
oh
have Sid
yeah,
Luckman.
Sid Luckman. Yeah, thank you.
But no,
Thank you.
with the Packers, Aaron Rodgers. My dad was asking me, is Rodgers the MVP or is it Patrick Mahomes? And the only I think it's Patrick Mahomes. Anyone who I don't think Russell Wilson is in there anymore. Kyler Murray's not in there anymore. I think honestly Josh Allen has a
Josh
better
Allen.
argument. Josh Allen has a better argument in my opinion than Wilson or Murray. I would put him third behind Mahomes, Rodgers. I would say Allen is third in that.
Okay, I could go. I'm okay with that, but I would actually I would go that same, but I would also like have it'd be Allen 3A and Wilson 3B for me.
I'll give you that. Yeah, I just think Wilson has underperformed a little bit after his opening. Allen's been more consistent. Anyway, the thing that drives me a little crazy, and I think this is, I'll be the first one to admit, Rodgers kind of had it easy in 2011, specifically with his MVP. I mean, he had the best offensive weapons in the entire league, and there was no question about that. I think the same thing is very true with Patrick Mahomes. So my entire point with this is I'm fine with Mahomes being MVP, but you still need to recognize what Rodgers has done with less offensive weapons. And so I have no doubt that Patrick Mahomes could still be the league MVP if you switched it. I think he would do very similar things, if not better, to what Rodgers is doing right now because he's 12 years younger. But what Rodgers is doing at 37 years old with obviously less weapons. I mean, I just think that has to be recognized a little bit.
Right.
I think their offenses are pretty similar and are comparable. They have the duo of running backs in Kansas City that the Packers have. Tyreek Hill is fantastic. Devontae Adams is fantastic. Very different styles of receiver, still both top 5 in the NFL. I think Travis Kelce is obviously much better than Robert Tonyan, but both have a reliable tight end. So I think they're comparable. But if I had to choose between the Chiefs' offensive weapons or the Packers, I would take the Chiefs every day of the week.
100%. Well, okay, so now I'm gonna pull it back a little bit.
Yes.
The dynamic though, the dynamic that you have to. Why do I keep saying dynamic? One of the things that you have to take into consideration though, with the MVP talk is, and mind you, I think it's writers that do the MVP voting. Okay, so is it the best player in the league, or is it the the most valuable person in the league?
And that's...
You understand what I'm saying?
No, I know exactly what you're saying. And unfortunately...
Hold on. And let me finish. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just want to finish my thought because I'm old and I'll forget.
Go for it.
So if it's the most valuable person for the individual team, I'll actually go with you on this for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Just because of the dynamic of the leadership aspects that we talked about today with Dexter, and the fact that the man's a Hall of Famer. He's going to make anybody around him better.
Yeah.
This is my understanding. However, if you want to go with the best player in the NFL right now, it's Patrick Mahomes.
Right, and there's no question about that. The comparison I've made the last couple of days is I think Mahomes has reached that LeBron level where he's clearly the best player in the league. Nobody really questions that. But then you get into that debate. Yeah, is it the best player? Is it the best player on the best team? Or is it the most valuable player? Because Mahomes has the first two. But if it really is inherently the most valuable player to their football team, I think the Chiefs would be, if you take Mahomes off the Chiefs, you take Rodgers off the Packers, the Chiefs will perform better than the Packers will. That team will be better than the Packers would be. The Chiefs' defense is better than the Packers' defense. So that's what frustrates me. And I'll be honest, I think Rodgers won his MVP in 2011 because he was the best player. I don't think he was the most valuable player in 2011. Obviously, I don't remember off the top of my head. But again, with that Sports Illustrated cover offense he had, you could have plugged a lot of quarterbacks in there and they would have taken that team to the playoffs. Would they have been 15-1? Probably not. Would they have still been very good? Yes. So that's the thing to me is it's most valuable player award, but I really don't think it actually means most valuable player.
Fair. All right, so, but I get we're not strictly. I'm gonna turn us.
Yes.
We're not strictly talking only football. I know it's Third Down Thursday, but real quick, I just want to give a quick shout out to Kyle Schwarber.
Yes.
The Cubs obviously are going their separate ways from him, and I'm cool with that only because of the fact that finally a Chicago team isn't holding on to a player for an extended amount of time as like thinking that he's going to be what he was. Mind you, he's a very good player, and you also have to take into consideration that now the Chicago Cubs don't have a left-handed power bat in their lineup. So that's a big thing, and that's one thing that any Major League Baseball team wants, especially considering that I'm sure Major League Baseball is going to go with a universal DH.
Yes.
So that being said, though, we won't go into that talk. I just wanted to take this time, and you see behind me the World Series banner. The Chicago Cubs would not have had that. I wouldn't have this up in my the cave if it wasn't for that gentleman recovering from his ACL and making a absolutely ridiculous, historic,
It was crazy.
bad. I'm sorry.
It was crazy.
Crazy, gutsy, badass, whatever if you want to describe it as. Amazing gentleman. So that being said, Kyle Schwarber, you may not see this, but frankly, I don't give a shit. I'm going to say it anyways. Thank you so much for the memories. Thank you so much for that gigantic home run in 2015 that landed on top of the scoreboard that put Chicago Cub fans in a feeling of, you know what? You're damn right. We're going to whoop some ass now.
Yes.
So thank you for that. And Theo, thank you too for what you did. And not as dramatic as Kyle Schwarber, but but thank you. And also real quick, I know we're going over it a little bit.
That's okay.
Real quick. Chicago Bulls opening training camp this past week.
Yep.
Really looking forward to it. I already predicted with some of the guys at work. The Chicago Bulls will be a 7-8 seed this year.
Ooh.
I predicted it. I've been pretty good with my predictions lately, aside from last week because I predicted with my heart, not my head.
Yeah, it's okay.
If you remember, I did say that too. I prefaced.
No, you did. I still give you the accuracy because I know you're passionate about Trubisky.
That's true. And I'm still glad he's starting this week because I still think Nick Foles is fool's gold. Anyway, real quick, I'll do my pick before you have your last comments, MJ.
Yes.
Chicago Bears are favored by 3 points this week. I think they cover. I think they win. And I think that we're going to have a bunch of guys drinking that orange and blue Kool-Aid again. I might be one of them. It is what it is. I'm that fan. I'm that guy. I'm not going to flip-flop and go away from my rant from earlier. But I will say it's always fun to watch the Bears win in Chicago.
That's absolutely fair.
Score. God. They're playing the Lions. They just fired their coach. They might be fired up, though. Let's go. I'm just going to throw out numbers. Bears are averaging 19 points a game this year. Let's go. Bears 20. Lions 7. Ooh. No. I said it. Can't take it back now.
No, they do. I think DeAndre Swift will be out, so that'll be big for them too.
I'll stick with it.
Okay. So Packers Eagles, the spread is 8.5 right now. I talked about this with my dad yesterday, or a couple days ago, and I said I don't like covering big spreads like
that. Dad is code word for bookie, you guys.
Bruce, don't expose my secrets. Thank you very much. But no, I said before that Steelers-Ravens games, I'm like, I don't enjoy advising to take big covers. But honestly, with how bad the Eagles are, Packers are at home. Like, I don't see how they don't cover that in my head. So I'm going to go...
In your head!
I'm going to go Packers 31, Eagles 17.
Okay.
So I think that's fair. The Packers are putting up 31 points per game. And even against a very good Bears defense, my last comment will be, Packers have faced 6 of the top 11 defenses in the NFL this year, and they're still averaging 31 points per game. So as bad as the defense may be, specifically their run defense, which I think will hurt in the playoffs, and I am expecting to have my heart crushed at some point in the playoffs by specifically our defense. I will ride with Aaron Rodgers as long as he takes us this year, and I am still very excited to watch every Packers game. But I do not have my hopes up because we do not have a championship level defense. They are just ultimately average this year. They are like between 13 and 16 in pretty much everything. And even though we have the top corner in the NFL, we like playing 10 or 12 yards off on 3rd and 1. So,
hold on real quick. I think I talked crap about this, about freaking sabermetrics, DVOA stuff or whatever. But right now the Packers have number 2 ranked DVOA, which is obvious, but they're 18 on defense.
Yeah.
I would take that.
Yes. My only issue is they're good against the bad teams on defense specifically. Their offense is good against almost everyone. They're good against the bad teams on defense. If you took out non-playoff teams or like non-winning teams, I bet that DVOA is like 25th.
Wow. All right. Fair enough.
So, and I don't know the numbers on that, but that is my biggest worry. So,
fair enough.
We will stop rambling for today. But thank you, everybody who has watched. We had a fantastic show. We have a very exciting show next week. I won't spoil it yet because we are still lining things up. But the couple prospects we have are very exciting. So no matter what, the next 3 weeks we have lined up, hopefully we're going to have a very special Christmas Eve show as well. So very exciting things coming from me and Bruce. As always, Bruce with his juice, me with my energy drinks. I appreciate everybody for watching, and we had a fantastic show. So, Bruce, any last comments?
Last comments. No, sorry you guys for ranting on the Bears, but it's all good. Go Bears. Go Bulls. Go Cubs. Great show. Thank you so much to Dexter Williams. Go Dexter Williams. Not Green Bay. Thank you, Rob. Good guy. Great guy. Hope he gets back into Major League Baseball because obviously it sounds like he knows exactly what the hell he's talking about.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Talk to you later.